In 2016, the Notre Dame Club of New York is celebrating 100 years of existence in New York City. And today it is one of the largest Notre Dame clubs in the world. And we are pleased to welcome Kelly McKenna, Notre Dame class of 2003, to the broadcast to talk about their centennial year. And welcome, Kelly. Congratulations on your anniversary. Tell us about some of the events you've already held and what's coming up in the near future for the Notre Dame Club of New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on, Terry. I'm really happy to be here. And like you said, Notre Dame Club of New York has been around for 100 years. We are officially indoctrinated in 1916, but there's been a huge history between Notre Dame and New York that predates that by far. So our first event that we had, which is very important, was in 1842. Father Sorin came over and first said Mass at the old St. Peter's Church, which is right off Wall Street, before he embarked on his 20-day journey to Notre Dame, or to what is now Notre Dame, to Indiana. And to celebrate this year for our 100-year anniversary, we invited Father Monk Malloy out to celebrate and to commemorate that Mass. And we were fortunate enough that he actually brought Father Sorin's chalice with him for this event. But aside from that, there's been a long history of Notre Dame in New York City, which is focused specifically around sports. So the first time Notre Dame played Army in Brooklyn was actually in 1923. Since then, that matchup has moved to Manhattan, to the Bronx, and we're really happy because to play a part in Notre Dame history, because it's because of those games that the term subway alumni was actually coined. So we like to think that we've played a small role in the larger Notre Dame tradition there. We have a lot of events that we're planning to continue the celebration of our 100-year anniversary. But for right now, I think what we're most excited about is our UND celebration and Mass. We've actually invited Father Jenkins to join us this year. And we're still waiting for confirmation, but it's going to be really special since it is our centennial celebration.
All right. And, you know, people often say that the Yankees are the other team in New York.
That's true. Yeah, they are. Not to forget about the Mets either. But yes.
Well, what kinds of things does the club do for recent alum in New York City? I know a lot of kids that say, well, I'm moving to a town, I got my degree, I don't know anybody there. I say, look up the Notre Dame Club. There's usually one in every town. So what do you folks do for recent alums?
That's a great question. So we try to keep our website updated, so we always encourage people to visit them. But it should be noted that we have over 100 events every year that's run by about a core group of about 30 people that we're always looking for more volunteers to help us if they have a special interest to join. But I think it's also important to mention we're a very young group. As you mentioned, a lot of people move to the city as soon as they graduate or while they're still very young in their careers. So I think a lot of our events reflect that. So we're doing a lot of things for service and for social activities. I'm not sure if a lot of people who visit will normally go to a game watch on football Sundays. But there's also a lot of collaboration that the club has between the different groups that are in New York, such as the Notre Dame Wall Street Club, the Notre Dame Lawyers Club, and the other local regional clubs to make sure that Notre Dame has a large presence here and we're making people feel welcome once they make that big leap to the big city.
And have you seen a lot of growth and change in the club over time? I know you've probably only been with it a short time, but I imagine things change as society changes.
They do, and that's a great point. So we've seen a lot of changes in our club. When the club was originally founded, 100 years ago, it was the main lifeline that people had between Notre Dame and their local area. So it was their news feed, their network, and it was also an excuse to see their friends and other alumni that they may not see on a regular basis. Obviously, since then, the club has grown incredibly. We have a lot of people that have created satellite clubs that are now freestanding, such as the wonderful Staten Island. But what we're really proud about, and we have to say, is in 2015, we made a decision. We had about 200 active members, and for our centennial, for our 100-year birthday, we decided to increase membership. We really wanted to drive membership to be 1,000 active members. And right now, we're about a little less than 800, so we still have a lot of work to do to really incorporate people into the club. But what I think it's interesting to mention, and I think something that's not unique to New York, but something that really hasn't changed with the club is our love for Notre Dame. And it's events like this, such as Notre Dame Day, which, where we're invited with all of the other groups, whether they're on campus or alumni groups or fan groups, special interest groups, that really can unite and get behind Notre Dame, which really makes Notre Dame such a unique and a special experience. And we're truly honored to be part of that today.
All right, Kelly, and best of luck with this centennial of the Notre Dame Club of New York City. I'm sure you guys are going to have a dynamic year, and I bet you hit that 1,000 goal before it's all over with. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much, Terry.